Good afternoon, class. My name is Julian Gedeon, and my presentation is on political participation by Latino non-citizens in the United States. So there is a lot of Latino participation in the United States. Some of them are actually not citizens, and non-citizens are unable to vote because it is against the law. Just because they have no say in electing officials doesn't mean they don't have a voice in politics in its entirety. Ineligibility does not remove the Mexican-born and other Latino-born people from being involved in the electoral process. They can show support by contributing to campaigns by showing support through family members. There has been recent reports of non-citizen population not always participating as much as the Latino population as a whole. A small degree of non-citizen activity is important because there's a very large number of Latinos in the United States. They have the power to influence policies and have the power to make various political changes. Unfortunately, it takes a generation of the middle-class Latin American population in New York to become citizens. Latinos are the largest migrants of legal and illegal people in the United States. So there are a few reasons as to why Latinos would get involved in politics in the United States. There is a pull effect, and that occurs during campaigns. This is when the media portrays various reports on campaigns and candidates that are running for office. These ads are almost like unavoidable in the United States. You see them everywhere. If the same politicians are thrown in their face all the time, it's very likely that they will become involved because of this. And another reason is that they are non-citizens. They are still affected by policies that are still made like in the country like anyone else. This is enough incentive for non-citizens to get involved because every law and person, that lives or resides in the United States, the law affects them. There are obstacles that hinder these non-citizens when it comes to politics as well. One of them is that there is somewhat of a language barrier. Not every citizen speaks English. This would make political changes when it comes to involvement. Non-citizens might have the tendency to be more involved in the politics of their home country. They are still going to have strong ties to the country that they were born in, obviously. And transitional communities are where there are a lot of immigrants. It kind of takes like a longer process of a transition and assimilation in the United States. So some non-citizens may feel like it's not their place to be involved until they gain their citizenship. Undocumented citizens might feel like they should avoid all federal government altogether and fear that they could be potentially targeted. What can cause an indifference in participation is the ignorance of the system that allows the majority of the population involved in politics. Sometimes the children of immigrants tend to have larger interest in politics in the United States. In a public survey, citizens and non-citizens were inquired on the type of political participation of Latinos. The study showed that the top three activities by both were signing of petitions, wearing a button, and attending public meetings. The survey showed that non-citizens were less likely to donate money for a campaign. Latino citizens were less likely to volunteer for a campaign as well. The main objective of the article is to show non-citizen Latinos' contributions to the political climate in the United States. Immigrants are sometimes seen in a negative light. They are seen as taking advantage of economic benefits that are associated with being in this country. The popular belief that immigrants and illegals do not contribute to politics and that they don't invest in this country is not true at all. This may be a popular belief among many Americans. Studies have actually shown that non-citizens are aware of the social climate around them and do not set aside time to invest in the communities. Some of these individuals aren't even legally able to live in the areas that they are supporting. Political and local officials should not be overlooking these communities of people. This is because they're assimilating into the population by being active and participating in American right, despite the fact that the legal system does not support them because they are not citizens. For the most part, Latino non-citizens are active in non-electoral activities. In activities that were more demanding, they had less of an active role. In events that dealt with donations and physical volunteering for campaigns, overall, the study believed that non-citizens wouldn't get involved in signing petitions out of fear of being contacted by the federal government because of their documentation status. This belief was actually proven false to a degree because signing of petitions was the most common activities of political involvement. By examining political activities, one would assume that this group of people are disengaged when in reality it's false. In this study, the average participation rate for citizens was 12.6%, and the participation rate for non-citizens was 3.6% in the study. If Latinos have political knowledge, they are more likely to participate in the social climate. The growth of Spanish television, news, media also helps with this as well. The fact that political candidates have been recently meeting with the media is proof that the need for Latino support is increasing, whether it's legal or non-legal. The survey on what articles based is like 11 years old, and the number of involvement has had to have certainly improved over recent years. One way in which the study could have been improved upon is the expansion of non-citizen groups. There are non-citizens in the Caribbean and in countries in Central and South America. I feel like the political climate today, citizens and non-citizens would be more involved in the election process on a national and local basis. This is due to the rise in power and influence that President Donald Trump has had over the country. Donald Trump was able to successfully win on the basis of anti-Mexican ideal policies. He portrayed a large percentage of these people as criminals and ignored the fact that many of these people are hardworking and live honest lives, Donald Trump has made a tremendous effort in preventing the rise of undocumented immigrants by building a border wall. It would be interesting to see how much involvement and interaction there was since that election. They would have possibly slowed down due to the fear of the federal government, them being contacted due to Donald Trump in office. I believe that they would do the opposite, actually. I feel like most recent election would give them more of an incentive to be more involved, because they wouldn't want someone like Donald Trump in office that doesn't really represent them and actually goes against most of their ideals. And that's it. Thank you.